Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am showing you guys my digital teaching portfolio. That took me a very long time to create, but the good news is that it looks really beautiful. I can show it to you guys, and it's something that I truly love. If you guys did not know, I am currently looking for a job, and I've only applied to one place a month ago, and I haven't heard anything. I haven't even gotten an interview yet, but I think it's because as I speak right now, it's April 1st. So I think it's just taking a little bit longer than I expected because I had some false expectation, obviously, and I just gotta be patient. So in today's video, I will be showing you inside my digital teaching portfolio. Now, this is something that I made, and I'm very proud of this because this is very me. The theme of it is pink and black and white. However, if you are a person that does not like pink, black, or white, I also made a chalkboard version. Both versions will be linked down below. This is just a product that I'm really proud of. So going into my job search, I am in the mindset of I'm gonna wow the people interviewing me. I'm gonna go above and beyond, and I'm gonna get this job. I'm gonna get any job I want because I am going to present myself very well, and that's just what I want, so I'm gonna do it. I'm assuming that interviews during this time, during the school year 2021, they're gonna be a lot of online, which I am not upset about because it's a lot easier to interview through a Zoom convo than for me to drive like 2 hours down south to where I'm thinking of moving. So it's better for me, and I'm actually kind of grateful for this opportunity. So that is why I decided to do a digital teaching portfolio. I wanted to do a digital teaching portfolio even if the interview is in person, because look how awesome this looks. Like, are you kidding me? It looks so awesome. You just click through everything. Here's my resume, philosophy of education, and I'll be going through all of this with you in the video, and I'm really proud of this, especially because if you guys choose to purchase this, I probably should have said that, this is up for purchase and it's in my TPT store, link down below. And the great thing about this is you can use this digital format just like I am with my iPad, or you can share it on your Zoom screen or WebEx screen or whatever you use to have your interview with. You can share it. You can ask the administrator, whoever's interviewing you, hey, can I, do you mind if I share my screen so I can show you my teaching portfolio? So you would just share it on there as well, and you can also print it. So all you would do to print it is you just hit Control P and print, put it into a 3-ring binder with tabs, and you're good to go. Also, this is on Google Drive, which is really nice because once you purchase, it goes straight into your Google Drive and you'll have it forever. You won't have to worry about saving anything. Everything is editable on this pack. Again, if you guys are interested, everything's linked down below. I'm not tooting my own horn or anything. Well, I guess I am. Why not? Why shouldn't I? But I did a really good job at trying to really explain what this product was and to really give you guys a clear idea of what's in it, how to use it. In the very beginning of the product, I have so many different videos to help you guys if you're unfamiliar with a lot of the things to do for a more digital kind of workbook or more digital type of portfolio. I really thought of a lot of things. I mean, look at this review. I would say it's pretty good. So I have to say this, but the whole reason I made this was, yes, for me, because I am interviewing as well, and for you, because during my first year of teaching, like looking for my first job, seeing an actual portfolio in front of my face helped me the most to how to create mine and the terminology I want to use and what my focus is and what my own philosophy of education was. So I hope this video serves as the same tool for you. I really want you guys to be able just to purchase this product, edit it, and be done. You know, I hope it doesn't take you a month like it took me. It took me a month. So I hope it takes you maybe a couple days. That's the hope, but depending on you. I really wanted this just to be easy for you guys. Download it, edit it out, and I even did a setup. I even did a template setup in my product of the same exact order of this, of my digital teaching portfolio that I'm going to show you. So all I did was I left everything uneditable, but it's in that order, the same order as this, so you don't have to fish around. If you like the order of my teaching portfolio, all you have to do is buy it, open up your Google Drive, and it's literally right there. So many helpful videos, tips and tricks. Again, just look at my TPT product. I did a really good job of explaining everything, and I'm gonna take you into my life as my digital teaching portfolio. When you see it in a couple minutes, it's gonna be a screen recording on the computer. So that's what's gonna look like when you get it on your computer, but this is what it looks like on the iPad. You just click through. This is the table of contents. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know if you really can, but here, let's just say resume brings us to the resume. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. It's very simple, honestly. Just to give a little background on me, going into this new year, and I feel like this whole new life of teaching, because when I'm moving to, COVID is slowly coming to an end. I'll be in the classroom after a year. I really wanna focus on things that that are true to me and what I truly want to teach. And what I want to teach my kids is to learn from failure. That is what I want to teach my kids. That is my whole philosophy of education, is learning from failure and actually having failure be our friend, in how to use failure and use fear as a drive to do better. And that's my whole philosophy of education. That's pretty much what I wrote. I mean, you guys are gonna see it. Hopefully there's no spell check errors. My fiance, you know, spell checked this for me, but you know, we can only hope. And I hope there's none. If there is, you guys can tell me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna make me a little sad because I already submitted this. It's just so hard to proofread your own stuff, and I only have my fiance, so thanks for proofreading it as well. All right, you guys, without further ado, here is my 100% digital teaching portfolio. So beautiful, so lovely. Well, this is what it looks like closed. Let me open it for you. Am in love with this. Look at this. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I also added some bonus pages for SDI strategies. If you haven't heard about those, you will definitely be asked about them in your interview. And it's just like specially designed instruction. It's specially designed instruction strategies. So, you know, using headphones, having a cool down area, flexible seating. I put a whole bunch here because they're gonna ask you. It's basically what you're doing, so every child in your classroom is successful. And then I also added a procedure checklist to use in the beginning of your school year. Literally, I thought of pretty much everything that you could, especially in the hygiene and safety department, because we're coming back from COVID. I also recommend printing this out and using it for your first day back at school. Back to the classroom in 2 weeks, and I will be using this, and it's free with the purchase, so grab it. I don't know. I have found this to be extremely helpful, especially if you're new, because if you're new, you have no idea what the hell you're doing. Just saying. And every little gift of information helps a lot, especially in your first year. So, all right, you guys, without further ado, let's take a look at my portfolio. You guys, and this is the overview of my teaching portfolio, my digital teaching portfolio. There will be also an outline, or I'm gonna show you the product on TPT for you to purchase so you can see a blank copy as well. Everything will be timestamped down below, but hopefully you guys use this as inspiration to help you with your teaching journey and with you finding a job. Hopefully I relieve stress for you. So let's get started. This is the very front page, and here is the table of contents. So here I have my cover letter, resume, philosophy of education, letter of rec 1 and 2, teaching credential, final evaluation, and my observation. So this is my cover letter introducing myself, and I hope I did a good job doing this. I feel like I did. You know, I wrote it. It was true to me. It's true how I feel. And I really do think teachers are role models and should learn from failure and self-reflection, and to teach students to do the same, because that's how we grow and become better people and become high vibe. Hence my name, High Vibe Teaching. Anywho, you guys can pause and read this if you like. Just the red bars are my personal information. All right, here is my resume. So the red obviously is hiding sensitive information, but my education is on the right left-hand side. Same with the skills and certifications. And in my product, I just give you helpful hints and tricks and, something to help you when you create your own resume. But I did want to make sure my skills and certificates reflected on technology integration, of course, and my like social emotional, what I've learned with social emotional, which is capturing kids' hearts, and my classroom management, which is also capturing kids' hearts. And then my philosophy of education's there, and I just took I just wrote a summary of my philosophy of education, which is here. You guys can pause and read it if you'd like. But my favorite quote ever is, "Every action is a vote for the person you wish to become." Love that quote. And I just talk about why I teach, what I teach, and how I teach. And again, I talk a lot about emotional intelligence and promoting lifelong learning, such as self-reflection and learning from failure, because that is how we learn. Here is my letter of rec. This is my teaching certificate for California. Yeah, this looks weird, but this is the best I could do. This is my observation, final eval. And then now we're getting into lesson plans. So here's my table of contents. I talk about math, ELA, science, social studies, technology, and differentiation. This is what I wrote for math. I just talk about how math, I use a test model of instruction, and I love to give exit tickets, and I love to play the mirror math game. I made that up. I'm sure a lot of people play it. I just call it mirror math. So I'll talk about that in a different video if you're interested. But the pictures are my last class practicing the mirror math game. It's really fun, actually. Maybe I'll make a video about it. Then here's my ELA and writing, and this is actually my product. So the summary practice, the grasp the gist, that's my product, and I do that for informational text, especially with the Scholastic News articles. I love using those, and any kind of story you can do them with. I'm actually doing it now with remote learning. And then I talk about my race boot camp, my digital race boot camp. I am going to be making a paper version as well, but I just have the digital version right now. And I just talk about the importance of restate, answer, cite, explain. And that's why I made a boot camp for it. So science and social studies, we have a CER graphic organizer, and that is claim, evidence, and reasoning. I love this strategy. I will probably make a whole video about it because this strategy is bomb, okay? I made a graphic organizer for it. That is also available on my TPT if you're interested. But I also talk about the grasp the gist pages because that is perfect to use for history and science. It's perfect. But actually, I would probably just use that for social studies because CER is better for science. The grasp the gist is pretty nice. And again, if you want to just look at mine, take what I said, absolutely do it. Hopefully it helps you. And technology integration, when I made this, I wanted to laugh because this is laughable to me. I had to teach a whole year online. So everything I did was technology integration. Literally every single thing I did. Yes, I'm a little salty about it. I didn't love distance teaching that much, so yes, I'm a little salty. But I learned a lot of skills. That's what I'm taking away from it. So this is everything that I personally used in my digital classroom, and I'm going to use going back into in-person 100%. Now, this is the freebie that is available to you, and this is specially designed instruction strategies. And in your interview, if your interviewer asks you, hey, what do you do for kids that are having a hard time? Or how do you help kids on an IEP? How do you help English language learners? You whip this out and you say, I use multiplication charts. I use pencil grips for students who have fine motor skills that haven't developed quite fully yet. I use audio recordings. We do meditation, earplugs, ear headphones, choice cards, everything, choice, graphic organizers, of course. So this is an easy thing to bring up and you can say, this is what I used in my classroom. Now going into classroom management, this is everything I'm going to be talking about in the slides. And actually, if you wanted to, you could click right on it and it'll bring you directly there. Now, this is beautiful to me because in this slide for classroom setup, I talk about why I love focus walls and interactive anchor charts so much. And I even pull up a little bit of research. Master's degree coming into use here. I talk about how Edgar Dale's cone of learning, how we learn the most through teaching others, through practicing, through discussion, through demonstration. That is how we learn the most. Students, adults, that is how we learn the most. And that is a huge driving force in my classroom. That's why I like having kids get up, tape things to the focus wall, get up, answer this interactive anchor chart. That is why I love active learning, and that's what I talk about here. That's the whole setup of my classroom. I want my students up. I want them actively engaged. And going back here, do you guys see this little darker purple triangle? Yeah, lecturing. No one learns through just lecturing. How boring. That's how I felt like I was doing on distance teaching. This is why I disliked it so much. It was so hard for me to enjoy my time distance learning. Same with the reading. It's only 10%. Discussion, practice and teaching others. This is what my mirror game does. My mirror math game is that 90% teaching others, and that's why I love it so much. Classroom setup, again, I just talk about table groups, and I talk about how in life you're going to have to learn to communicate with every single person you interact with. So that is why I like table groups. Communication is a huge, big deal in my classroom. That's actually one of my main focuses going back, is I really want to have really good communication with my students and my students with each other. Those are my writing focus walls that I am so deeply in love with. I love it because it's literally the same kind of structure for each type of writing. I love doing circle maps. I love having the big, beautiful circle maps in my writing section of my focus walls. That's just beautiful to me. My classroom rules, I talk about having a social contract, and that is very capturing kids' hearts, CKH strategy. If you do not know what that is, I highly recommend just looking into it. A lot of districts are adopting it. Sorry for stuttering so much, but a lot of districts are adopting it, and I think it's fabulous. I think it's a fabulous thing. It really focuses on being emotionally intelligent and taking responsibility for action, which is fantastic. And the bottom right corner is just a quote I love because it's true. If you have a child's heart, then you have their mind, 100%. And I talk about the 4-question strategy with CKH, which is, what are you doing? What are you supposed to be doing? Are you doing it? What are you going to do about it? I think I got it right. Here is my tracking behavior, and this is what I use in my classroom. And I talk about how I hand out a weekly choices report every single Friday to the parent. This is in my TPT store. I will also link my video corresponding to it down below. But this I have found to be the best because I am sending this home every single Friday. I plan it in my work week. Friday during independent work time, it is my time as well, and I'm filling out those choices report, and they are going home, and they're getting signed back and brought back, and that's my form of communication with the parents. As a parent, I'm not a parent yet, but when I do become a parent, I would love if the teacher did this for me. If I knew that my student was on the right behavior, if their study habits are doing well, I would love to have that communication with the teacher. And it's something that is a routine and it's expected every week. And I love it. I think the parents really appreciate it. I would. So check out that video. Also, I talk about the Think Pink sheet and how if a student isn't making the right choice and they choose to get a pink think sheet, then we're going to sit down and we're going to have an office hour time and we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to talk to them and we're going to figure out why their behavior is not ideal and how they can make a better choice for themselves and for others around them. And my intention is to have students learn how to self-regulate, and that is huge. So if they're feeling stressed out, I want to teach them what they can do to self-regulate so they don't explode outwards. This is the procedure checklist that I talked about earlier. Highly recommend doing this in the beginning of the school year. Transitioning. So part of my morning routine is to write down their daily checklist for the day/week, and this gives students a visual on what they need to accomplish. And this is something I started doing during distance learning, and it has changed my life. I love this so much. It has truly changed my life, and the students are held responsible for writing down what they need to do and using a checklist to check it off. It's like this visual representation of what they have to do, and a huge thing that I want to incorporate in my students' lives is I want them to learn organizational skills that will carry on with them throughout their entire lives. So I want my students to use a checklist, learn how to use it, work with it, I want them to take that into adulthood like I do. I love my checklists. They help me run my business. They help me run teaching. So also using a timer, just really focusing on this set time, dialing in, focusing. And again, that's something I'm going to focus on my next classroom as well. Just having 10 minutes of hardcore focus. You know what I mean? 10 minutes hardcore, I'm going to get this work done. I'm going to do really well and try my best. Managing work, I talk about my to-do folders to help organize their to-do list and their unfinished work, so it's all in one place. And then I talk about the checklist again. Here are my management strategies. And again, I talk about the Edgar Dale's cone of knowledge or cone of learning. And I talk about how action is the best. It keeps students engaged. It keeps us wanting to learn more. And that's how we learn. We're social creatures. We need to talk. We need to discuss, we need to practice, and we need to teach others. That is how we learn. And again, that's part of my management strategy is discussion of, we didn't make the right choice, why not? Or what could we have done better? Failure is key. Self-reflection is key. Okay, real quick, listen up. Listen up. If you are new to teaching, or if you've been out of teaching or whatever you're interviewing, I highly recommend talking about reading the learning target before the lesson begins and closing the lesson with the learning target. And the reason behind that is there's a lot of research showing that if you introduce your learning target with the students, have them read it out loud, having them understand what they are learning and why it's important, that significantly boosts their scores, their interaction, their whole experience with learning. It's like, I always tell my kids when I tell them to read the goal for our learning target, I'm like, this is the target. This is what I need you to learn. This is what I want you to learn. This is what you're going to learn in this lesson. So I need to make sure you can do this. That's why we're reading this first. This is exactly how I'm going to assess you. Because with the success criteria, there should be a verb in there that shows how I'm going to know the student mastered it. So, for example, I can identify transitional words by highlighting them. That is a learning target. That is what we would read out loud, and that is what I will assess them on. And we would revisit it at the end of the lesson before I give them their formative assessment. Talk about it. It's really important. It's really the new craze going on in the districts, I think, because it makes sense. You should know what you're getting tested on. Duh. Parent communication, one of my favorite things. So this is my parent communication. This is what I talked about with the weekly choices report. I also do grade checks every once in a while, and those, again, the video's linked down below. I talk about it in depth, but the grade check is fantastic because every maybe 2 to 3 weeks, I pick a day out, usually a Friday during independent study time, and I pull students with me and we have data chats, which is so important. And I just talk with the student like, hey, like, how's it going? How do you think you're doing? Do you need help with anything in particular? Like, how can you do better in this? What can you do to help with your grade? And I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things about teaching. I love having that relationship with my kids. And are you doing the best that you can? Could you do better? And I don't know the answer, but you do. And just really kind of putting their focus on themselves and how they can use self-reflection and failure to improve. And I just love this. And I attach this to the grade check and it goes home with the weekly reports. So that way the parents know exactly what's going on. And here it says, my plan to improve is, that's what we talk about. And the students write down their goal, like what are they going to improve on? Here's the weekly choices report again. I just talk about it again. Parent communication is key. I find a lot of times parents are not happy because the communication is not there. Communication is an extremely, extremely important skill, and it is a skill that needs to be taught. I have met a lot of people, a lot of adults. My fiance was one of them who was not a very good communicator. And obviously we're getting married. I basically consider us married, but even in a marriage, there's lack of communication, and it takes work and constant, knowledge of it taking work and improving. And it's the same way as with parents. It needs to be crystal clear. There needs to be very open flow between parent and teacher, and that is what helps your relationship with parents. I love communicating with parents. I love showing the parents what we're doing. How can they help? You know, I think it needs to be a very transparent wall between the classroom and home. There needs to be a very even flow going on because it is a team. It is a whole unit, especially with school, home, classroom. Everything should be very free flowing. I think that's what would help the most if it's free flowing, at least. Now we're talking about data and assessment. Here's all my little sections that I'll be talking about, and this is what I used in my classroom last year. This is just a tracking student data worksheet that I made. Student's name on top. I just keep track of their iReady scores, their homework participation, and their grades, and this actually got sent home and signed, and then I keep it for my CUME. In my classroom. It's just to keep everything together, you know, in one spot. And it's really nice when you have IEP meetings or 504 meetings or whatever kind of meeting, you just pull it out and you talk about it. Oh, I actually provided actual diagnostic growth from iReady. iReady is just like a reading and math assessment. It kind of helps with the missing holes that students have that they didn't obtain in previous grades. So it tries to catch them up. But I showed the growth between the two of these. And I blocked it out because it's data. And here are some assessment strategies and, of course, exit tickets, colored cups for math time. You know, if they need more time, they put up the yellow. If they're good to go is green. Or if they need help, it's red. And I actually like to use that when I ask them to get out supplies or I say, are you ready? Are you done? Let's read this paragraph. I'm not going to time you. I want you to read the paragraph. When you're done reading, put your green cup up that you're good and you're done. If you're still reading is yellow, but if you need help on a word or help with something, red cup is up and I will come to you. I love that. I love it. I'm telling you. Huge hack. Huge hack. All right, then of course Plickers, if you're not familiar, it's just really fun. And clipboard cruising, and that's what I would be using as formative assessments. And then here is a whole bunch of information about assessment and how I use assessment and how it drives my instruction. And obviously, we need assessment. I love assessment. I do love assessment because it shows me that I'm doing a good job teaching, shows the kids are working really well. So that's just what I talk about. And yeah, you guys, that's it. All right, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Now at the end of this video, coming up, this next section of the video, I'm going to show you my product if you're interested in it. Let me just show you what it looks like. I'm going to be giving you an overview of this product, hopefully breaking it down for you. So if you do have any questions, you could just refer to this video. My intention is to make this very simple. So let's get into it. When you open your product, it's going to look just like this, pink and black digital teaching portfolio. And you're going to open it. It's going to look like this. This is the first page. And this is just a little thank you, just saying how I know this portfolio found you for a reason. And I wish you nothing but luck with your job interview going into the classroom. Students need good teachers, and I'm confident that you are the good teacher to give to these kids. Next are directions for the digital portfolio. And I do highly recommend making a copy of this portfolio. So for example, in my drive, I made a copy and I named it this. I gave a video here. All you have to do is click, and I made a video for you to refer to in case you do not know how to do that. Here you're going to watch your video, or you're going to watch this video when you're 100% done, because I'm going to show you how to access the share settings. Because when you send this to your interviewer, you want to make sure that they know that they have to hit present and they can access the portfolio as well. So again, the video is right there, broke it down for you as well. And then this just reminds you to hit present mode when you are done with your portfolio or when you are showing it to the district for the job. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to click and they're not going to see anything on the side. So for example, here, this is what the presentation looks like in present mode. And then you're able to click forward and click back. And also I just talk about making sure the share settings are accessible to anyone with a link. I talk about that here in this video again. And then I just gave you a little example of what you could write on your teaching portfolio when you send it out in an email or even attach it to your resume. It is here. Helpful videos. So here I have I have a good list of helpful videos to help you manage your teaching portfolio. So if you need to figure out the overview, that's how you got to this video, is you clicked here. If you need to upload additional pages, like hard pages, putting it into your digital portfolio, here's the video. How to convert a PDF to a JPEG, how to hyperlink on your table of contents, my personal teaching portfolio setup in case you're interested, because I always do better when I see a visual of someone else's. How to access the share settings, it's here as well too. I put it in 2 places. And then how to save the resume/cover letter as a PDF/single file, because when you apply online, you will need to submit the files separately. So I do give a video on how to do that as well here. All right, these are just printable directions for the portfolio, because all you have to do is hit Control P and print, put it in sleeve protectors, put it in a 3-ring binder, and you're done. Printing is, it serves a different purpose than the digital aspect, but me personally, I like the digital because it looks pretty BA. All right, quick tips. This is just a few quick tips I just thought of to share with you guys. And the first one is the PDF. It's so easy to share as a PDF. You could save the whole thing as a PDF and then just send it as a attachment. You could do it that way too. So you just go File, Download, PDF, and attach the file. Shareable link to your resume, you can also do that. And when you're 100% done with the portfolio, make sure to delete all the side pieces. And what I'm talking about is this. Make sure you delete these because you don't want that in there. And then I wrote a little excerpt to you guys talking about how when I was making this portfolio, I felt like it would be really, really helpful to kind of lay out my own personal portfolio in an outline kind of. So all you have to do, so the following slides up to this point is literally my teaching portfolio, but without my words in it. I just deleted all my personal information, and now I just literally kind of helped you guys out a lot by giving you my outline of my teaching portfolio. So all you have to do is edit sections of it. So I started off with the very front cover and my important documents. These are the documents I personally used in my teaching portfolio. I left them here for you because it is just so helpful to know I'm a 4th-year teacher. This is what I have. This is what I'm interviewing with. Here's your cover letter. Here's your resume. And I do leave tips and tricks on the side. Just make sure to delete it when you are done. Philosophy of education. Lesson plan examples. Now, this is everything I personally did. So you can go through this. You can delete. You can add. If you don't like what I have, you can take it away. You can add to it. It was just a lot easier, in my opinion, for you guys, especially if you're new to teaching. Just follow what I did. Plug it in with your own information, what you did with student teaching or what you plan to do. And it actually ends right here with this pink one. So I just talk about, looking at my portfolio and kind of using it as a huge base of what you could do. And now this is all the cut and paste pieces. I want you guys to think of the portfolio as ooh, I like this, so I'm going to use this. And I like this, so I'm going to use this. But you can create it any way you want. It's like a project. Think of it as a project. So cover letter, resume, the cover, and all of these are different tabs of information, of different sections of your portfolio you want to do. Let's pretend you want to show off all your professional development you've done. Absolutely can do it. Lesson plan, classroom management. Woo, that was a sonic boom. I don't know if you guys heard that. Routines and procedures, literacy instruction. It goes on and so forth. Now, when you get to here, when you get to like other documents, miscellaneous, editable, you can just double click and type whatever you want. You can, again, maybe you want this to be your cover because you like this background better. Then you would say, like, Miss Thompson portfolio. And that would count as the cover as well. All right. So I gave you 2 of them just in case. And now this is something I wish I would have had when I was first applying for job interviews. So this is something I wish I would have had, and it's my specially designated, or sorry, oh my gosh, sorry guys, SADI strategies. These are SADI strategies that I just wish I had available to me when I interviewed, because you're going to be asked about differentiation. SADI strategies are just strategies for differentiation. So these are examples for differentiation. I don't think I'm saying that right, but differentiation. Woo! Anywho, so this is perfect to put in your portfolio. I created this for you guys. It's perfect because you just pull it up, talk about it. Same with this procedure checklist. You're going to get asked in your interview about your procedures for in the classroom. Like, what are you going to do? And this is literally a checklist that I use in the beginning of the school year to make sure I taught all of these expectations to my students. So everything in the morning routine, classroom assignments, afternoon routine, check it off in your interview. Just say that you use this, you check it off to make sure you hit everything. Yes, so this is very, very helpful. And it's made for you. Here's your philosophy of education. And then these pages are your table of contents. So you're going to use these for, if you looked in my portfolio, you will see exactly how I used mine. And then here are a bunch of blank pieces. So I kind of want you guys to think like this is like a scrapbook, and you guys are able to create your very own portfolio to be proud of. And it's just a scrapbook, and it goes all the way down. Here, I'll just talk about this page, but this is where you can replace images, or this box with an image. So all you do is you hit right click, go to replace image, upload from computer, and you can pick anything your heart desires. Here, I'll do this one. There we go. And then it's going to go into the box once it loads. It was a pretty hefty JPEG. But what I did in my personal teaching portfolio is I actually erased, oh no, it's like kind of freezing. Okay. I erased a lot of the boxes of the text boxes because I liked the look better. So I just erased this outline.